Hello everybody, and welcome to NASCAR 14 for, ladies and gentlemen. In the last episode, it was a night race at Daytona for the running the Sprint Unlimited, where NASCAR's legends got to do battle, or in my case, you saw me ride at the back and just jerk left and right on the control stick. Well, we're going to be going to the Daytona again for Speed Weeks for the running of the Budweiser Duel at Daytona. I will be joined by Mason.
Hello.
He will be providing commentary whenever he sees fits. And we're going to be down in Daytona for Budweiser Duel number 2, where it's going to be 2 races to set the starting grid for the Daytona 500, and we're also going to qualify for the 500 somewhere in there too.
Peace.
So the paint scheme we're going to be using is Jimmy Johnson's 2014 white primary for a good percent of the season. And yeah, anything you want to add before we take off?
Nope.
Alright, fire it up. So, there's going to be no practice, 9 laps for the dual race, I think. Times 1. Collider is going to be cautions, just like the shootout. And we're going to...
The Daytona Duels decide the qualifying field for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500.
Thank you, Jeff Hammond. But first, we're going to qualify. I do our lone 1-lap time trial around Daytona. The lonely.
Welcome to your first qualifying session. Now, qualifying is a vital part of the race weekend. It can make a huge difference come race day. The better time you put down now, the less cars you have to pass in the race. So get out there on that track and let's have some fun.
Thank you, Jeff Hammond. Welcome to Daytona.
Drivers will qualify. Earn the front 2 spots on the grid for the Daytona 500. The other qualifying times determine the starting lineup for the duels.
So, yeah. Welcome to Daytona for a 5-mile track, lonely 5-mile track around Daytona International Speedway. Since this game is not updated and the Xbox is not connected to the internet, we unfortunately have to do single car qualifying. We're going to begin our lap when we come down the back stretch, which in 2016 this was reconfigured for the infamous Daytona Rising project, which turned this rinky-dink racetrack into a full-on, full-fledged, complex, modern-day sports stadium, which in its very first race at the new Daytona Rising saw the closest finish in Daytona 500 history, involving Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. Here we go. Into the trial will begin our lap. Carl Edwards is the quickest driver so far. Down the bottom, onto the racetrack. Honestly, my preferred line is, what's recommended is to follow the green, which I forgot to turn off from last time I played on this. Before I started this Let's Play, I had the green thing on because I wanted a preferred line, similar to the EA games. But, yeah, if you have the preferred line on and you're doing hard, you're a fucking noob. So we're going to come out of turn number 4. Our time is actually going to put us, drumroll, on the pole with almost 2 seconds ahead of Carl Edwards. Holy cow. So, just like on NASCAR 11, one and done. We are going to skip the practices and let's hit Daytona Duel.
The Daytona Duels determine the starting order for the Daytona 500. You'll want to get as good a position as you can on the grid, so give it all you've got.
Thank you, Jeff Hammond. Welcome to the Daytona Duels, aka the most nervous part of the Daytona 500 weekend. 2 nerve-wracking qualifying races to set the grid and set the stage for NASCAR's crown jewel event, the Daytona 500. After I've won the pole, there's a good chance I'll be in the first duel race, so while we're at it, let's send it to NASCAR on Fox legends, Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry McReynolds. And FYI, if you update this, you can get the night option since 2014 was the first time that you had a night race for the Budweiser duels. And yeah, and it was delayed too. Fire it up.
It's time to set the starting lineup for the Daytona 500 with a pair of 150-mile qualifying races. The Duel at Daytona. I'm Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip.
Mike, these races are fun because the driver has one responsibility. Don't wreck the car. Go out there, get some information, how to prepare for the Daytona 500. So go out there, drive smart, and oh, by the way, try to win.
This is the opportunity these teams have been working on all winter. It's time to go earn a spot in the Daytona 500 or load up and go home.
And no shot at the starting grid. Alright, that's cool. Pace car is off. Field is in the hands of me and Kevin Harvick as we make our way down into the restart zone. Green flag into the air. We are racing in Gatorade Duel number 1. For 9 laps. Here comes Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace already making the third lane on the bottom. Already, everyone's forming into a tight-knit pack, and probably the safe thing to do is just cower. Oh, no! Yeah, that didn't happen. Probably the safe thing to do in that situation was just stay on the bottom. But Kyle Busch is going to nudge me out of the way anyway, so, you know, what's the point?
Just keep a good pace. You're doing good.
Going by Baraka. And the man, Mike Lynette, who is never a threat, Bubba Wallace, is going to lead lap number 1 in the Gatorade Duel. And you know what I find really stupid? Is they put Xfinity and truck drivers in this game, which is kind of cool, but give them their own series, for God's sake. I'm pretty sure that Bubba Wallace's 2013 truck, put on a cup body, looks ridiculous. Make our way down out of turn 2. Casey Kane wrestles the lead from Bubba Wallace. Never mind, Marcus Ambrose wrestles the lead. Allmendinger takes the lead. Two laps complete this afternoon in the Gatorade 150. Out of turn 4 and into the trial. Logano takes the lead.
Running great, buddy. All that work's paying off. Awesome lap.
If you remember back in the shootout, we had a similar situation where I jerked and freaked out on the first lap and almost caused a big old wreck, and I came back to win. It could be the same situation as Front Row Joe takes the top spot. Joe Nemechek, the man who isn't relevant anymore in NASCAR. Except for that one little bit where I liked him because he drove for Hendrick for a season. For a couple seasons. Right by Regan Smith. Now Gilliland. Now Biffle takes the lead. onboard Jimmy Johnson in the cockpit. Oh! Wait, hold up. Tony Stewart briefly took the top spot. Notice how I said briefly. There's look in front of us. It is a 3-wide blob of 15 cars, 5 rows deep, making our way. Impossible to pull away from the. Oh. In fact, 15, it's actually impossible to pull away from pack in tight situations like this. Here, you can get to a 3-second lead on a pack of cars at Daytona. Anyways, 3 laps to go. Hendrick Motorsports, 1-2. Look at the sparks shooting out of the car coming out of turn 1 on Bo. God, my right side scratched and so is my left side. Look at that. Clint Boyer, Greg Biffle, Casey Kane now become the people that occupy the front 2, the rest of the 3 positions in the top 4. Two to go at Daytona. Coming down the backstretch. Look at this. They're shuffling a little bit at the back. Now I don't know which lane to block. You gotta block all 3 of them right here. Landon Castle and AJ Allmendinger, 2 underdogs that nobody's ever heard of. In fact, Allmendinger recently earned a ride with JTG Daugherty back in 2013 for select races. In fact, speaking of AJ Allmendinger, he's about to pull off one of his biggest wins in NASCAR in his career by winning the Gatorade Duels. White flag into the air one more time around Daytona. Kenseth hooked up with Allmendinger. Gilliland down to my bumper. How about this? Everyone organized into small lines. Penske teammates, Logano, Keselowski. Logano's going to stay with Gilliland, but never mind, Keselowski's going to go to the way to the bottom. I'm getting passed by 2-car tandems, even though NASCAR outlawed that in 2014. Anyways, here comes Keselowski. One shot. How about this? Look at this. He's gonna get him here. Out of turn 4. This might be a door-to-door finish. Side by side, coming to the line. I barely win the Gatorade Duels over Greg Biffle and Brad Keselowski and Clinton Boyer and David Gilliland. They were 3 wide for second.
Driver. You've just earned yourself a place on the front row for the Great American Race.
I already had a front row position, but thank you, Jeff Hammond. Let's take a look at your top 10. Wow, this is narrow. 2 1,000ths of a second. 3 1,000ths of a second. 7 1,000ths of a second. So the top 4, I kid you not, are separated by 7 1,000ths of a second. Mason?
That was pretty crazy. I thought it was going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, and of course, Keselowski chickened out like Harvick did on 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy race, though.
Logano finishes 5th. Clint Boyer 6th. Marcus Ambrose 7th. Landon Castle 8th. AJ Allmendinger 9th. And Matt Kenseth 10th. Look on down to the rest of the field. For some reason, everyone's got squished numbers. I can't tell if that's a 54 or just a black blob with a white outline. Then you got Stewart, Gordon, Regan Smith, Harvick, McMurray, Stenhouse, Paulie Haraka, who should not have been in this game, and Michael Annett. Okay, now my voice hurts now. So, who is the first female driver? Jeanette Guthrie. Back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, chicks were racing in NASCAR. So, the next race is going to be the Mac Daddy of NASCAR racing, the Daytona 500. Me and Mason will co-commentate that event. We will see you then.